Hey, good morning, dear ones. I hope you're well. I really do. I feel like the camera's a weird angle. Sorry. I also have a pretty major hat here because it's cold. I've been wearing my hat. So I was reminded of an experience I had when I was probably about 14, which is the age I teach now, and I actually see this experience relived year after year. But it has a very important lesson, I think, for everyone. If you want to be happy and self-directed and self-actualized in life, this is a really important experience for you to hear. So I grew up in a time and a place where, things were pretty traditional. Like this was the 70s and early 80s, and, boys did sports and just kind of how it was. I mean, think about it, that's just how it was. Well, I was not good at sports, and to be honest, I just never liked them. Like, I had zero interest. I had very sweet, some of my uncles and my dad, trying to teach me how to shoot a basket or throw a baseball or various things, and they were very patient. But the problem was, I wasn't very good at it naturally. I'm sure with practice I could have gotten better, but I just didn't care about it. Like, I didn't like it, and I just had no interest in it. Well, it was a little tough, as you can imagine, maybe. In our neighborhood and my Sunday school class, there were all these boys. I was in a huge group of kind of boys my age that I saw at church, twice a week, and that I went to school with. And honestly, they were, looking back, they're actually really pretty nice to me. I did not get the level of persecution that probably most kids would have gotten. But at the time, I felt keenly, I felt my outsider status very keenly. I just didn't fit in. I didn't like what they did when we had to go to Cub Scouts. They all loved this and that, and I didn't. And anyway, this was just kind of my life growing up. It wasn't a huge deal, but I just always felt outside. And I really didn't feel like I fit in, and I became very self-conscious as a result of that. Well, I then discovered theater, and then later through that I discovered singing, and so that was what I did. And then I started directing plays, and it was great. I kind of found myself through those things. I remember, though, when it was fairly early on in this process of this sort of self-discovery, I was about 14, I hadn't started yet taking voice lessons, but I think I had started singing in the church choir, for example, doing a little more of that. That was really hard, by the way. Singing was incredibly hard for me because it's very vulnerable. You really have to be comfortable revealing yourself, and for someone who was self-conscious and not very comfortable revealing himself, it was a little challenge. Well, I was asked to sing maybe a duet in church, or maybe it was a small quartet. So it wasn't a solo, but it was a step towards that, and it was, something that was going to be very obvious. Singing in a choir, you can kind of hide, but this was going to be public and very obvious that I was doing it. I remember waking up that morning terrified. I mean, just utterly terrified. And I wasn't really worried about what the audience might think. I knew I'd do fine. But I was thinking about one or two of the boys my age in this cohort. They were all really nice guys to me. There were one or two who were not, slightly older, and they were kind of mean. And I just remember being intimidated, thinking, oh, they're going to make fun of me. Oh, what are they going to say? Oh, I'll never live this down. And then I had the thought, right after that, it was, and I'll actually put a spiritual twist on this. You can just assume it was my subconscious if you want to. But I felt like, looking back, I think it was God. But basically the thought came, it was like, Braden, defy them. Defy them. And that hit me so hard. And I realized I can let them make my choices for me, or I can defy them. And the thought of defying these people who had so much power over me, and again, to be fair, I don't think they knew they had power over me. For the most part, they were not bullies or anything like that. Like I said, there were one or two who were a little mean, but I realized that I didn't have to worry about what they thought. And since then, I have come back to that phrase, defy them, frequently. Anytime I'm tempted to let someone who does not have my best interests at heart, or someone who doesn't like me, or someone who doesn't know me, make my decisions for me, and by that I mean I'm acting on what they will say or do or think, or what I think they'll say or do or think, I just try to tell myself, defy them. They don't get a vote. The people who love you least, the people who like you least, the people who don't understand or know you, they don't get to have a vote in your life. Now, you can let them have a vote if you want, but none of us should want that. We should defy them, kick them out of the room. They don't get to be in the room where it happens. So, I'm not saying this is easy, but I'm saying it's definitely possible. So, just remember that phrase. Next time you're stuck in a situation like this, defy them. Defy them, embrace yourself, be the best self, obviously, but defy those who are in your head making you not reach the fullest potential. Sending you so much love. So I say that you have so much potential, and I want you so badly to see that and to feel it and to achieve it, because it's a happy way to live, and I want you to be happy. I'm always sending you so much love. Love, your Internet Grandpa.